Hi, my name's Chris Kinkle, golf professional here at Lexington Country Club, and this is the tip of the week. This week, we're going to talk about working the ball from right to left. Last week, we worked on hitting a fade, which is the opposite. That's where the ball works from left to right. So, we now need to learn how to draw the ball. A lot of players can get a little bit more distance out of a draw off the tee. Another thing that we can do is we can get out of trouble using the draw. We can learn how to go around objects, just like the fade. But one thing that it does help that I see, if you're looking for a little more distance, try to hit a draw. The draw is going to help promote that ball to take off a little bit faster. It's going to help it release when it hits the fairway. You're coming in at a better angle when you're hitting a draw. So you're going to get a little bit more leverage through that golf shot and a little bit more power. But it's fairly simple. We're going to do the opposite of what you learned with the fade. Basically the same setup, but opposite. So the draw, again, depending on how much we want the ball to draw, depends on how much we close our stance. And depending on how much we close our stance, depends on how much the club face is closed. So I'm going to hit a draw here, and if you notice, I have my stick down again. This stick, again, is helping me visualize the line that I'm hitting on. I want to make sure that I'm still doing my routines that I normally do when I'm practicing, but pretty simple. I aim the club face to the target, just like I did with that fade, okay? The second thing that I'm going to do after I get my setup, again, I'm not gripping my club until last, is I'm going to shut my stance. I'm going to walk my feet, shoulders, and hips, and I'm going to close them to the target line. Feet, shoulders, and hips, close them to the target line. From there, if you notice, the club face is still pointed at the target, okay? Last but not least, all I'm going to do, leaving the club face at the target, is swing down my foot line. If I have my club face at the target and my stance is shut, once I grip the club and swing down my foot line, that should cause the ball to start out right of my target. It's going to start down my foot line. The ball should end where my club face is pointed. Okay, so again, club face at the target, don't grip it until last, get your stance square, shut your stance, okay? That means feet, shoulders, and hips are going to be close to your target line. Depending on how much you close them, depends on how far right and how much of a draw we're going to get, okay? So I'm just going to do it slightly. Again, club face at the target, and then the last thought once I get my setup is make sure I'm in balance. If you notice, I didn't mention this before, but if you remembered, when we opened our stance to hit the fade, that moved our ball position forward. Well, now that we're closing our stance, notice it moved our ball position back. Okay, so these are little things you're going to look for when you're doing this. So I've got my feet and my shoulders slightly close to my target line. I've got my club face at the target. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say swing down my foot line. Okay, so club face at the target, feet and shoulders are closed to the target, swing down my foot line to a nice balanced finish. And what you're going to see when you're doing that is if you're in balance and you're swinging through to the finish, you'll start to see the ball take off a little bit right of your target down your foot line, and the ball will curve back to the left to where your club face was pointed at the end. If you're not used to hitting a draw or hitting a fade, and we're going out onto the golf course and we're still not used to how to hit that shot, we might find ourselves in some trouble. So make sure you get down to the range and practice. Take advantage of our clinics that we have Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 9:30, or just come see myself or Daniel Laux for a private golf lesson. We'd be glad to come help you out with this type of shot. Thank you very much.